Hey guys, in this video I am going to discuss one of the important concept regarding variables in JavaScript. And that concept is that, like when we declare some variables in JavaScript without using the keyword provided by the JavaScript, like if we declare some variable without using var, without using const or without using let. So what actually will happen? What are the different scenarios that gets created when we do something like that in JavaScript? So in this video I am going to discuss this important concept with you. There are four ways to declare some variables in JavaScript. The very first one is that you just declared your variable without using any keyword. For example, a is equals to 5, where a is the name of variable, b is equals to 7, c is equals to 10. Right? This is the first way. The second one is with the help of var keyword. Third one is with the help of let keyword. Fourth one is with the help of const keyword. Now the focus of this video is on the first way. When we declare some variable without using any keyword, so what actually will happen? But before going to deep down in this concept, let me just quickly tell you what actually variable is. In simple terms, variable is nothing but some kind of container which actually holds or stores any kind of data. Right? So basically this is the only thing you should know about variable. Now let's just move towards to our practical part. Now listen to my words very carefully. If we declare some variable without using any keyword in JavaScript, so that particular variable will automatically get the global scope. And now here comes the question, what actually global scope is? So in simple terms, if some variable has the global scope, so that particular variable can be accessible anywhere in your file. Suppose the name of your file is index.js. So that particular variable you can access anywhere in your file, right? No matter where it has been declared. So basically this is, this is the global scope. And now don't worry at all when we'll go to the code window. So over there I'll explain you this concept in a very crystal clear way by doing the practicals. Now one more important concept is there. If some variable has the global scope, then that variable will automatically becomes the part of the window object. Now here comes the question, what window object is? First of all, window object is the object provided by the browser, not JavaScript. It is the object which provided by the browser, which exposes some important methods like document, on-click, which can be used by the programmers or the developers to do some important task. And you can use this object anywhere in your application, anywhere in your file, without exporting it or without importing it. So basically this was all about this concept in a theoretical way. Now let's just move towards to our code window to see this concept in a practical way. So let's just see the first way of declaring the variable in JavaScript. So suppose if I do something like this, a is equals to 5 without using any keyword, and I'll try to print this variable, value of the variable a is if I do something like this and see, it gives value of the variable a is 5. So basically, you can declare the variables in JavaScript like this, like without using any keyword. But wait, if you'll see this, so your mind will get totally blown, because the thing is that this is something which is not at all possible in any other languages like C, C++ or Java. This is something which was not possible in that languages. But in JavaScript, this is possible. This is totally possible, and this is totally fine, right? So you can declare the variable in this fashion also. But as I told you, as I said to you, that if you do something like this, then this variable a will automatically get the global scope. And I told you this thing as well. But one more important concept is there just after that. I told you one more thing. There is one more important concept. Anything or any variable which has the global scope will automatically becomes the part of the global scope. Okay. So shall we check it? If I go over here and if I try to print the window object, I could have get a variable inside this window object. So let's just explore this window object. See, here I got the a variable inside the window object. Uh, if I try to print b as well, b is equals to 7. And after saving this file, let's just go again. Try to print window object and we'll search for b as well. See, we got b as well, a and b. So anything which has the global scope or anything which we declared without using any keyword will becomes the part of the window object, and that variable which we didn't declare with any keyword will automatically get the global scope. Now I hope you got this concept basically, right? So before moving to the next example, I think I should write this thing as well. If some variable has the global scope, then that variable will automatically becomes the part of the window object. Okay. Now let's just take another example. Okay. So the example is if I declare some variable within this curly braces, within this particular scope, right? Like a is equals to 5. So if you have done any other languages like C, C++, or Java, so in that variable, if we declare some variable inside this curly braces, inside this scope, so we can only access this particular variable within this scope, right? But what if we have some other scopes as well? So in JavaScript, if we declare the variable like this without using any keyword, varlet, or const, so what happens over here? As I told you, this becomes the part of the window object. This will be declared. This will have the global scope, and this variable, rather than where it has been declared, it can be accessible anywhere in the file. Okay, it has declared here, but I can access this particular variable over here in this block, outside these blocks as well. Let me show you this thing. The the value of a is value of a inside the second brace is inside the third brace. A inside the global scope is, and we'll see that. See, the value of a inside the second brace is 5. The value of a inside the third brace is 5. The value of a inside the global scope is 5. Okay. So now I hope you'll also get to know what happens if we declare some variable without using the keywords practically also. Now let's just take another example with the help of function so this concept got crystal clear in your head as well. Okay, let me just comment it out. So suppose I declare one function ABC, and inside this function I declared a is equals to 5, and I call this function. And here, if I try to log the value, value a is of a outside the function is okay. So first of all, analyze this code. If you declare some variable inside the function in any other languages, I'm just talking about any other languages in C, C++, or Java. If you do something like this, so over there, this variable a becomes the local variable of this particular function. It means we cannot access this particular variable outside this function. This particular variable can be accessible within this ABC function only in C, C++, or Java, in any other language, not in JavaScript. But in JavaScript, this concept is slightly different. So, so as soon as we call this method, because this variable got declared inside this function ABC, right? So until and unless we don't call this method, so this variable won't get created, right? So if so when we declare so when we call this method, when we invoke this method ABC, then JavaScript will comes to this line and it sees that okay, the programmer has declared the variable and initialize it, but the programmer has declared this particular variable without using any keyword. So what I have to do now, I have to, like store this function inside the window object. And this variable will have the global scope now because the programmer hasn't declared this variable without using any keyword, right? So what JavaScript will do? JavaScript will store this variable a inside the window object internally. Okay. So this is the step which we're gonna take by the JavaScript, and that's why as we know that if we have to or if we want to access any variable, any method of window object, then we can access that method without using the name window. So that's why when we'll try to log this function, so that's why when I try to log this value of a, we got the value a. The value of a outside the function is 5. And if I'll try to log and if I try to see window object, so over here you see that okay. So I hope you got crystal clear by this concept that what happens actually when we declare some variable without using the keyword, without using any keyword, right? And one more thing is there. If I didn't call this method, then obviously it will gonna give the error. Uncaught reference is not defined. Why? Because we haven't called this method. We haven't called this method. So how this variable got created? As soon as we call this method, then only the variable gets created. And then when we call the method ABC, then only the variable got created and gets the memory inside the window object. Gets the memory, not to be precise, gets the place inside the window object. So this is the whole concept of So basically, this is the whole concept regarding when we declare some variable without using any keyword. So the very first thing you should know. So in summary, in a nutshell, I would like to tell you, if you declare some variable without using the keyword var letter const, so that variable will get the global scope. This is the first thing. Variable will automatically get the global scope. And second thing is that variable will automatically becomes the part of the window object. So thank you so much guys for watching this video. Keep sharing and stay tuned for the next video.